Hello my family. So I normally do my videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We got a screwed up week this week, so I'm going to give out some videos when I can this week. Right now, we canned 7 quarts of tomatoes yesterday. Thank you, Jesus. They all sealed. We're ready to go. We are now working on pint jars of fresh tomato sauce. Oh, it smells so good. Homegrown tomatoes, and so it is ready. It has been, that pot was completely full, and it is about 3/4 of the way full now because of all the water. So y'all wait till we hear we have going on right now, and we'll get to what we're going to do today. Hey everyone, my finger hit the button before I could finish. Got my cold wet cloth because we're definitely going to need it today. But just to let you know what we're doing, remember I had some coffee time moments about things, why we can and why we put things on our shelf, and the things that can happen in life even if when we don't see it. Sometimes folks look at us that we're kind of crazy, like, you're such a prepper. Can I give you an example why I'm doing this? We have been going to doctor's appointments and tests for Mr. James. We've been praying, and it is coming down to, at the same time, Mr. James did get his job, and he's in the process of getting onto his job, and we just got told yesterday that he's going to have surgery. One of his legs does have a blockage in it. He's got to go for more tests Thursday to find out where it's at. And he will have a stent put into his leg. So, unfortunately, that's going to take him out. What he's going to do and try to basically is get onto this new job, work at least 30 days before they schedule the appointment and have this procedure done. It's not a super major, but it does need to be done. So he's going to try and get the insurance and all the kick in beforehand, which makes sense. In the meantime, I am preparing us for that moment because he will be down at least a week for recovery. So, and then again, it depends. It depends on how the procedure goes. But even so, he's going to be down. That's lost income. So we're preparing for these moments for whatever happens. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, yesterday we did our whole tomatoes. Today we're doing our spaghetti sauce. I started pulling out the All-American, y'all, because I need to learn how to do this. Unfortunately, things got involved in my way today, and so I couldn't do it. So I have to do this tomorrow because I have green beans that need to be pressure canned. So I am going to be trying to do that. But before I do canning, I want to do a test run with water. There's something about the infusion of metal to metal, and they talk about infusion. If not done right, I really don't want to ruin this canner and everything I have in it. So I'm so familiar with my Presto canner, very unfamiliar with my All-American. So it took me a while to find something. I could be using my olive oil or petroleum jelly, and honestly, that petroleum jelly, y'all, have you seen the price of it? Or Vaseline, whatever you want to call it. A little bitty thing like this is $2.50. That's crazy. I happened to find a container that was $1, so yay me. But goodness gracious. So I don't know which one I'm going to do. If I'm going to use that one, I'll probably try that one. And then if I have to later, I'll use my olive oil instead. And Honestly, I probably will use the olive oil. It just needs to be lightly oiled to keep the fusion of metals, because this canner has no seals, y'all. And they say that I have to go by the gauge. I am not used to no gauge. I am used, well, the pressure knob where thing. I can't describe it. I'm used to the dial. I cannot do that in this one. I can look at it and go by the pressure, but I'm not to use that completely. So this is a whole new ballpark. We're going to start with water before I ever can. And if I have to, I'll be canning those green beans in the Presto until I get used to this bad boy. So anyways, there's that. I did bring it out, but I had things to do. Also, while I'm canning this tomato sauce, which is another water bath canner, it's a small mix, so I'm just going to be using this very small pot. We, for supper, are going to have Mediterranean meats, Louisiana Cajun, where we are having Mediterranean garlic parmesan cannellini beans with boudin cornbread, fresh milled. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that one too. So let's get in the kitchen, y'all. We got a lot of work to do. Yeah, I also forgot to tell y'all, we're going to be taking our sourdough discard, and I am tonight going to prepare, because we are going to be making fresh milled sourdough English muffins for breakfast. That's going to be so good. I love a good toasted nook and cranny with some butter or ghee. Yeah. Okay, I got to get back because I'm making myself hungry. Okay, y'all, so we are using just ordinary simple tomato sauce rendered down. There's no seasonings to this. There's nothing. The peels were removed. It was sieved. I actually took, instead of a food mill, I had a strainer and I took a spatula and I just scraped until there was nothing but seeds and pulp, whatever that did not render down, to make this smooth sauce. So I did it, some would say the hard way, but it was very effective and I got some beautiful sauce. Now, it didn't make a whole lot, and what's left of our tomatoes, honestly, I'm probably going to do the same thing because we do go through the sauce. So with that, I'm going to add, just like yesterday, we're going to add lemon juice, and I'm adding, because these are pints, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice per pint. I am not adding salt because I add all my seasonings after the fact. Again, I'm going to pull this little thing off of it because this annoys me when it's time for canning. So give me 1 minute, we'll be right back. Alrighty then. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. Now, if you didn't want to use lemon juice, you can use citric acid, and I think it's a 1/4 teaspoon for pints and a 1/2 teaspoon for quarts. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So now let me get this phone turned off, y'all. Hold on. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting this. So now we're going to go ahead and add our sauce to the 1/2 inch head space. This is absolutely gorgeous sauce, y'all. I am in love with this. It's got a beautiful texture. It's thick enough, just like a regular sauce, and so much better. Hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all, so all of our jars are at the 1/2 inch head space. So you want to I take the end of my measuring stick and just mix this around to get all the air bubbles around it. You just want to shift the liquid, and if you don't think it gets air bubbles, I just saw 3 coming up. So you just want to shift that around just a little bit and get those air bubbles out. Make sure that it's sitting on 1/2 inch head space. And again, you want to clean your rims and all of that, just like I'm about to show you now. So I clean off here. Now I'm going to check my head space, make sure it's a 1/2 inch. all the way through. That one needs just a little more. That one's spot on. So we'll give this one here just a slight more mix. And that is a 1/2 inch. So now we take our, we're going to wet this slightly. Since this is just really nothing but tomatoes, no seasonings, no oils, no nothing, we're just going to take a damp cloth around our rims just to make sure that it seals nicely. No debris around here, just like so. If I needed to do a close-up, y'all, I will. I'll show you what this looks like before we put it inside here. But I'm going to go ahead now and add my lids on top since the rims are nice and cleaned. Ooh, that went twice. Okay. That's alright. We just get it done over with sooner. Put our, ooh, that's hot, y'all. Put our rings on finger tight, no more than that. Just like so. Put on our last one. And then we just set them inside of our water bath canner. Since this is acidic food, it does require water bath canning. So that makes it kind of simple for sauces and tomatoes. You do add lemon juice though, and so that's it. I'm going to go ahead and finish off these jars and see how many we're going to get out of this batch here. It'd be great if we can get 6 jars, but we'll have to see. So we'll be right back. Y'all, this was absolutely amazing. There was exactly 6 pints in that can, or in that pot, to make 6 pints of beautiful homemade spaghetti sauce or tomato sauce. So now we're going to put this in our water bath canner. You want it covered by a 1/2 inch headspace. We're going to seal the lid, bring this up to a rolling boil, and then we are going to process this for 35 minutes. After 35 minutes, we'll be back. Okay, yeah, so the first thing I need to do for our boudin cornmeal is make the filling. So this is actually going to be blended all together, and then it's going to be cooked to almost a dry form. Now, in case you're not sure what boudin is, here in the deep south, Louisiana, possibly Georgia and Florida, I'm not sure about them yet. At least here in Mississippi and Louisiana, we get what's called boudin, and it's basically just a sausage in a casing that we boil. You don't eat this casing, you pull it apart, and then you've got this meat thing in the center with some rice and seasonings. It makes really good flavor. It's hard to describe this, but it tastes really good. And sometimes we'll take them like this when they're not chilled, and we'll form it into boudin balls and fry them up. So it's a delicacy here in the deep south. So we're going to take this though and incorporate it into our fresh milled cornbread. So I need to check this canner because I think we're at a rolling boil. So if we are, oh yeah. So we set our timer now for 35 minutes, and I keep doing what I'm doing. I love this. That's the one thing about different between pressure canning and water bath canning is the pressure canner, I gotta seriously babysit. The water bath canner, I set it and forget it basically until it's done. I mean, I keep an eye on it, don't get me wrong, but alright, so this should be enough. We had 3 sausages or 3 things in here. The rest of this is going to be frozen for another batch. Now I'm going to add some fresh cut, and people have been using frozen onions and bell pepper mixed. So I'm just using fresh because we're going to cook this down and we're going to get it nice and soft. Make sure there's no liquid in it. Now, the hype on this is basically everybody makes this, but they make it with either Jiffy cornbread mix or Kurt's, or I forget the name of that other one, but it's another cornbread mix. We're using fresh milled. So I've got this on the stove over here now, and we are going to saute this up, y'all, until this is good and cooked. In the meantime, I'll put this in the freezer, and I'm going to get my cornbread mix ready. Alright, y'all, so I'm actually using Grains and Grits cornmeal or cornbread recipe. It is amazing cornmeal or cornbread. So, and she does add sweetener. That's optional. We're going to add it to ours just a little bit. We actually like it. So, but there are times we just don't add it. So this was 1.5 cups of spelt, 1 cup of freshly milled cornmeal. We're using the yellow cornmeal, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then I'm going to mix all this together. And the baking powder that I'm using is actually aluminum free. So I will be back. Whoop, forgot our sweetener. She uses a 1/2 cup. We're using a little less than that. We don't want it super sweet. And we're using Substitute. So now I'm just going to mix this all together, and I'm going to get ready to use our liquid ingredients, because then we're going to add our other ingredients to this to make it more Cajun style. So we're going to take and revise this recipe just a little bit. So at this point, I'm going to need 1 egg beaten, 1 large egg beaten, just like so. I need to find me a itty bitty little whisk. I don't have one. They're not that easy to find. There's my egg. I need 1/4 cup of oil. In here, we're going to use olive oil. Go ahead and get my, well, y'all hang on a second, because I forgot my 1/4 cup. Now I found it. So I'm going to fill this up, and it is 1/4 cup of oil. Like I said, I am using olive oil, y'all. And I need 1.5 cups. She uses whole milk. We find that we happen to like buttermilk. So I'm going to be adding 1.5 cups of buttermilk to our recipe. And as soon as I get my buttermilk, we will be right back. Alright, y'all, I did not want to leave this sitting on the counter as hot as it is here, so I left this one in the fridge for last. So I am using 1/2 cup, so I'm actually going to be doing this 3 times to get my 1.5 cups. I don't feel like digging and looking for the 1 cup right now. I always lose everything. Alright, so there is my 1.5 cups of milk. I'm going to put my buttermilk away, and then we're going to come back and mix this and wait till you see what else we do with this. Alright, so here's when we're going to make the magic start working. So first, I'm going to mix all my ingredients until this is nice and smooth, y'all. I'm going to make sure I get all my flour and everything all mixed in here really, really well. Oh, this looks amazing. I know what this tastes like. We love this cornmeal, or this cornbread, so we've not made any other since. This is our go-to. I thought we'd doctor it up a bit. So now that we have this, I'm actually going to take this, because I'm going to be folding in my ingredients now. Now, you can use whatever kind of cheese. Most everybody has used pepper jack. I'm actually going to use some sharp cheddar in ours. So we're going to add about, oh, that's about a cup, 1/2 cup to a cup of buttermilk in here. And if you wanted to, you could add sausage if you can't get a hold of boudin, but I will tell you, it will taste totally different than what this mix is. So now we have our mix that we have here. We had 1 small bell pepper, half of a small onion, diced. Both of them were diced. And then we had 3 boudin sausages that we decased and mixed together. So now I'm just going to take and fold all of my ingredients into our cornbread mix. I'm going to get my cast iron skillet ready, season it, or not season it, but we're going to grease it with some bacon fat to add to this. Oh y'all, this is going to be so good. And then we're going to put our mix in there and we're going to top it with cheddar. So we'll be right back. Okay y'all, so I do save my bacon fat in my refrigerator. So I'm just going to take, and I use it just for doing this with my pans. So I'm taking this and greasing this really well. I don't always add bacon fat for cornbread, but this one here, it's going to be really good for it, considering it's already got boudin and it's got a pork base to it. Now I'm just going to add my cornbread mix into my pan, smooth it out after I'm done, get all of my ingredients out of my pan. Waste not, want not. You go through the trouble of fixing it, you want to go through the trouble of making sure you get everything, y'all. Alright, now I'm just going to spread this out. Just like so. And I'm going to bake this for about 15 minutes. Well, for 15 minutes now, and then I'm going to bring it out, top it with the rest of our cheddar cheese, and then bake it for the other 5 minutes, because this bakes for 20 to 25 minutes. So I'm going to give this time to bake first, and then we're sitting at a 400 degree oven. If you want this recipe, y'all, look for grits and grains. This recipe is actually really, really good. Now we're going to go ahead and seal this off because we're going to use it for kale tonight. And I'm going to get my other timer. This other one's occupied. I'm going to set this for 20 minutes. Get this in the oven. Actually, I keep forgetting, 15 minutes, y'all. Sorry about that. After 15 minutes, we'll come back for this one, and we'll top it with our cheese. Alright, so our timer for our spaghetti sauce or our tomato sauce is done. So I turn off the oven, pull off the lid, and we're going to let this sit for 5 minutes. Once the 5 minutes is up, we can pull out our sauce. Okay, yeah, so I still have a little over 7 minutes for the just lift this out here for the cornbread. So we're going to go ahead and pull these out now. It is time. As soon as I find my grabbers, there they are. All right, y'all. So our tomato sauce is done, and I want to show you. This looks absolutely gorgeous, y'all. I mean, this is some amazing, beautiful tomato sauce. I am really excited, so we're going to go ahead and get these put up and be right back. Tomorrow, y'all, we're going to take the last of our tomatoes and we are going to prepare them the same way I did this sauce, and I'm going to finish them off making tomato sauce. That was an amazing, absolutely gorgeous batch of tomato sauce. And how I made that sauce is I actually blanched my tomatoes, cored them, blanched them, took the skins off of them, which they've been dehydrated. I got to turn around and crush them up, make powder out of them, jar that up. Then I just let it simmer half the night. I didn't let it go all night on my stove because I just didn't feel like leaving my stove on all night. So half the night I end up turning them off. First thing about 5-6 o'clock this morning, I turned them back on, and I let it simmer all day until there was maybe 3/4 of the way full of my big stock pot, or my little stock pot actually, of tomato sauce. It was nice, rich. It's not super thick, but thick enough to be a sauce. So, and we made 6 pints, beautiful, gorgeous pints out of it. So the tomatoes that are left, I'm just going to go ahead and turn them into sauce, because later on, if I want to make barbecue sauce or ketchup or whatever, I can use what I have canned and fix what I need. So we're going to finish that off. And you know, 2 videos before this one, y'all, I said blessings, and we don't always understand where they come from. Well, a lot of us know where they come from. It's just we don't understand why or whatever, but we don't really question. I didn't know what was coming up. We did not know there was going to be a surgery. So this came in right when we needed it, y'all. So that's why I say I give thanks. All right, I am waiting for the countdown. I have 3 minutes left to put the cheese on top of our cornbread, put it back in the oven for another 5 minutes, and then that will be done. On that recipe, if you don't get boudin, y'all, because not everybody does, you can use a breakfast sausage. Even a sage would work. If you didn't want to make cornbread with it, you can actually make even a cornbread stuffing with it. But just add a little bit of kick, heat, some jalapenos, or some pepper jack cheese, and you'll get somewhat of what we're having. It's basically, I guess, cornbread dressing in cornbread style. So, but we're using boudin. So I thought I'd share that recipe because it's something we've never done. It's something we've never even tried before until now, especially with fresh milled. So this ought to be really, really interesting. And then we're going to make it with our Mediterranean beans and some steamed cauliflower. Sorry, y'all. It is that hot. And so canning season for me is almost over, but I'm not complaining. It may be hot, and in the heat of the summer, I may be crazy for doing this. But y'all, when it comes down to never knowing what's going to happen, you do it anyways. And I am not without gratitude for doing what I'm doing, because it's coming at the right moment when we need it. So at least we'll be covered in that part. I still need to feed my beautiful doughy Parton sourdough. This is amazing. So we are going to be, I've been feeding her since I got her. Yesterday she got super active and started to want to flow over my jars. So we have a nice good size sourdough container to contain her from being so active. So we're going to be making some preparing it for the auto lease overnight for sourdough English muffins, and I can't wait to use this baby. So I'll be feeding her later, and I will be starting my English muffins so we can make those in the morning. Y'all, look at this beautiful cornbread. So now we're going to add our cheese on top of this. Oh my word, y'all. This is going to be the star of our dish, I do believe. So down in the South, a lot of people usually will make some soup beans and some fried potatoes, cornbread, some greens. We're just going to use our Mediterranean style beans and the steamed kale for our greens, and just have it basically a nice protein meal with just simple Southern with a kick where Mediterranean meets the deep South in Cajun style. Oh yeah, that's it. So now we're going to put this back in the oven for the last 5 minutes, and we will be back. All right, y'all, we'll be back. Okay, y'all, so our cornbread is done, and we're going to test the center, see if it's done by using the toothpick method. So I'm going to pull this baby out of our oven. I can smell it already, y'all. It smells amazing. Ooh. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. All right, I'm going to test the center. Oh, yeah. It is finished, y'all. Maybe just a little bit more. So I'm going to pop this in the oven just a little bit longer. Right in the center there is still clings a little bit. It won't be much longer. So I'm just going to reset this for about 2 minutes. And that should be enough to do this. And it's finished, y'all. It smells so good. So this will be our cornbread. Now all I have to do is make up our beans and steam our kale, and we can eat our supper. And while all this was going on, all 6 jars for the last jar just popped, and every pop I heard I counted. So there are 6. So all 6 are sealed, so we're ready. It can be sitting overnight, and then we will put it on the shelf tomorrow morning. And that would be the last of it tonight, y'all. Okay, y'all, so with hubby's doctor's appointments and all coming up, I am going to work on another video somewhere in between here. I will put the recipe in the description box below, and matter of fact, I think because it gives credit to Grits and Grain, I will link you her recipe for her cornbread, and I will give you the additives or added ingredients that we used to vamp this cornbread up a bit. I actually want to try this, but it's super hot right now. So, you know what? Hold on. Before we end this, we got to try it, y'all. Okay, so I wouldn't be me and I wouldn't be real if I just walked off and not let you know how this tasted, because we spent this time together. That would just be rude. So, let's see how this goes without burning my mouth. I actually should have let this sit for 10 more minutes, but it is what it is. If you can, wait 10 minutes. Oh my word. Fresh milled with Cajun deep south cornbread. Oh y'all. Okay, y'all, so hubby got the rest of it. And so this is definitely worth making. Like I said, if you can't get a hold of boudin, you can use sausage, any kind of sausage, any flavor, hot, spicy, sage, breakfast, just regular. You will not have that boudin flavor, but you can mix that with a little bit of rice if you want to, or leave it out. You can fix this and vamp it up any way you want to. I would add, if you do use like the sage or regular breakfast sausage, to vamp it up a little bit, maybe add some jalapenos to it, or some pepper jack cheese. So I hope you like this recipe. I hope you like spending some time with me in the kitchen as we can. And we're pretty much doing this all week long, y'all. It is vital for me, something I need to do, something I want to do, and something I've been blessed to be able to do. So I never saw what was coming up, but my Lord did. So I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of. In the meantime, I love y'all so much, and we will see you again. I will have another video for you, but we got to get through these appointments. So until next time, much love from Parton's Mediterranean.